Hello friends, welcome to our channel Edu Knowledge Hub. Myself Dharmit Patnaik, Assistant Professor in the Department of Pharmaceutics of Bengal School of Technology. Today I am here with the topic ICH guideline. It is a continuous to my previous video. In our previous video we have discussed about the ICH guideline having the work products or the series of Q and S. Today we will discuss about the ICH guideline. The series is E series, that is efficacy series. So before going in detail about the video, let's first discuss about the course outcome for this video. The course outcomes is, from this video we will come to understand the importance of ICH and its implementation in a pharmaceutical industry, and we can also appreciate the importance of documentation in the efficacy, and also to understand the responsibility of quality assurance and quality control department in pharmaceutical industry. So let's have a look about the ICH definition, about its composition. So ICH full form is International Conference on Harmonization. It is a technical requirement for the registration of pharmaceutical product which is intended for human use. This ICH, it is a joint venture or initiative of regulators and research based industry from the representative of Europe, Japan and US in the scientific and technical discussion for the product which will be used in the human beings to ensure about its safety, quality, efficacy of the medicines. So the main objective of the ICH or International Conference on Harmonization is to implement or to give a proper safety to the medication, to the quality to the medication and to the efficacy to the medication. Now, if we'll coming to this work product of the ICH guideline, also we have seen in our last video, that is ICH work products are four different categories are there, that is quality, safety, efficacy and multidisciplinary. So in our last or previous video we have discussed about the quality guidelines and safety guidelines. So today we will discuss about the efficacy guidelines. So efficacy means it is telling it deals with the clinical study for the medicinal product or the pharmaceutical product which will be intended to be used in human beings. So it mainly deals with the clinical safety, clinical study reports, dose response studies, clinical trials and clinical evaluations. So next is multidisciplinary M. So about this M, which deals with the electronic devices, about its standard, about its evaluation, we will discuss in the our next video. So today our topic is ICH guideline for the efficacy series, so that is E series. So now first of all have a look at about the product or the series for the efficacy. So here what it is telling, efficacy guideline, it is a topic which deals with the clinical trials for the pharmaceutical dosage form which are mainly meant for the human use. Mainly this efficacy, it deals with the dose response studies, good clinical practices and about it clinical trial designing, execution, implementation and interpretation. So now coming to this efficacy guideline, it is also subdivided into different series are there. It starts from E1 to E20 except E13. So you can see that E1 and E2 is deals with the clinical safety, E3 is deals with the clinical study report, E4 it deals with the dose response. In the same way you can see there's ethnic report, good clinical practice, clinical trials. Overall what it is telling that it mainly deals with the clinical trials, about the procedure, about the designing, about the planning, about the execution and about the implementation and about the interpretation. And finally at the last, report writing. So here what it is telling, how we are going to deal with this all these clinical trial parameters, about the procedure, about the groups, about the patient, each and everything are contained in this ICH E series guideline. So first we will see about the E1 and E2. So E1 and E2 is deals mainly about the clinical safety. Clinical safety means during the clinical trial what kind of safety you have to be take or you have to be taken care, that is called as the clinical safety. So clinical safety E1 is mainly recommends the number of patient and the duration of exposure of medicines. Means here what it is telling, for the clinical trials how many numbers of patient we can use for a pharmaceutical product, and mainly for how many days we can expose the patient towards the medication. So nominally what it is telling that there are certain medications are there which can be used for the treatment of patient for long term treatment. So for such kind of drugs, clinical trial is more important for anyhow. For the long term or short term, clinical trial is important, but here what it is telling, for the long term treatment the clinical trial is more important. Why? Because it is to be necessary to identify the patient characteristics, about the properties, about the physiological properties. Because when you are going to give a treatment by the medicine to a patient for the long term, there may be some kind of adverse drug reaction or some kind of side effect may arise. So that's why the E1 series, it gives a guideline for the clinical trials for a patient, that how many numbers of patient it can be used for the treatment, and secondly is that how many days or what is the time duration for the exposure of medication to a particular patient. Now E2, E2 also it is having subcategorized into different, like E2A, B, C, D, E. So it deals with different terminology, different time exposure, different data management, data collections. So first one we will see about the E2A. So E2A is mainly deals with the standard definition and terminology of key aspects which are going to be used in the clinical trials, and it will be acceptable throughout the world in international level. So that's why when you are going to write a report, what kind of terminology or what kind of definition or standards forms you are going to write it, which will be acceptable or which will be understandable or meaningfully it can be understandable by the international level. It also gives the guidance for the mechanism of handling of adverse drug reaction. If any kind of reaction or any kind of adverse reaction or any kind of unwanted reaction is occurring or arising during the time of treatment, how we are going to handle it, it also deal about this E2A. That is called as the clinical safety. How we are going to be safe, what kind of precautions we are going to be take if some problems will maybe arise during the time of clinical trial. Next is E2B. E2B is mainly deals about the data management, about the transmission of data for a particular patient to the organization, by which it can be considered as a case study report or case safety report. So the main objective of this E2B is to identify, define and standardize the data element which will be for the transmission of individual case safety report. Like suppose any kind of medications you are giving and any kind of adverse reaction or any kind of adverse event it occur, so that will be transmitted to the organization, which will be filed for the procurer, which will be stored in a documentary. So this following submission, it will be communicated to the ISO for the development of an international standard, by which international level or internationally or globally it will be acceptable or it will be understandable by that. For this kind of medication, these are the problems which may arise during the time of clinical trial or during the time of maybe for the treatment. So here what it is telling, it also called as it is type of guide or implementation of guide for the electronic transmission of individual case safety report. Electronically you are going to transfer it, the message specification which is currently available in public awareness. That means it will be available in an area which can be accessed by all the person or the public for their awareness program or awareness process. Now E2C. E2C is mainly detail or deals with the data management, that is about the public safety for the marketed drug. So here main intention is to avoid the duplication of the marketed drugs. So for that what is telling, this guideline is mainly evidence, or it mainly gives us the format and content for the safety updates. Like during the clinical trial, what are the safety updates you have to take it, and after the marketing also there are some clinical phase are there, that is called as phase 4. During that also you have to collect the data for the safety updates, that what are the problems are arising or maybe it will arise, some kind of chances are there. So mainly it deals with the ensuring the maximum efficacy and safety of the product to avoid the duplicacy of the drug. That is about the E2C. E2D is mainly deals with the post approval safety data management. Like after the marketing or after the approval of a medicine or a medication, pharmaceutical product, when it is marketed, then also you have to be collect the data. So it also deals with the definition and terminology like standards, how we are going to communicate it. So it mainly provides a standardized procedure for the post approval document or safety data management. So here what is telling, the drug which is already approved and it is already in the market, for that how we are going to collect the data for the safety precautionary and it will be available. That is called as the data management, which will be obtained from the consumer, for the literature and from the internet, and it will be preserved for their awareness and for the safety. Now E2E, that mainly deals with the pharmacovigilance planning. Pharmacovigilance means, as you know, it is mainly deals with the process with the post marketing for the new drug, that how it is working, what is the effect, what are the, means we can directly communicate to the physician, we can directly communicate to the patient, and you can collect the data and you can preserve it for the potential risk in future maybe it will arise. So it mainly deals with the safety specification for the pharmacovigilance plan. How we are going to plan it, how we are going to designing for the collection of data. All this deals with the E2E. Is mainly intention of this E2E is to method to summarize the importance or to identify the risk of the drug, to implement the potential risk for the drug which can be procured or which can be utilized for the safety of the patient. Now like this E2F. So here what it is telling now, E3. E3 is mainly deals with the clinical study report. Clinical study report means what it is telling, that while you are going for these clinical trials, so you have to submit a report for the documentary evidence, that it will be preserved, that what are the study you observe it or what is your interpretation you are going to express it. So here for that what is saying, the document is mainly describe the guidelines for the format and the content of the study report, how you are going to write the report, and it will be acceptable by the ICH regions, all the regions, like it will contain all the information which will be beneficial or it will be informative. So this guidelines is a integrated full report which will be content about the therapeutic effect, about this, about the diagnostic agent, about its interpretation, about the designing, each and everything it will contain. So like this, here what it is telling, E3 clinical study report means it is indicating that you can see the scroll, the structure and content of the clinical study report. So what is the content of this clinical study report? So first one is, it is tell that title page. What is about your detail about your work, about your title, it will be explained. Next is table of content for the individual clinical study report. What are the study report you have mentioned in this or you have specified in the report, that you have to give a content in a table form. Next, list of abbreviation and definition of terms, like what are the short forms you have used in your report which can be easily understandable. So for that, this list of abbreviation as well as the definition and terms whatever you have utilized or used in your report. Next is ethic. So ethic means what it is telling, ethic means conduct of the study, like patient information, patient consent before going to start your clinical trial, or when you are going to a study on your new medicines on your patient, then you have to take the consent from the patient, that all these things you have to report it or you have to file it. Investigator and study administrative structure, how we are going to plan your study or clinical trials, how we are going to design it, everything it will be. Introduction, objective, study design and plan description, selection of study population, like how we have selected the patient, what is the criteria of the selection of patient, like age, weight, or any previous disease condition. Depending on this, how we have selected. Selection of dose, what dose it will be utilized or it is utilized for the clinical trials. About its efficacy and safety variables, about its efficacy result in tabulation form, and safety evaluation. So all this data, it will give a clear picture about the report, that what you have done and what is your report it came and what is your interpretation. Now E4 is mainly deals with the dose response studies. Dose response studies means it is indicating that it mainly recommend that the designing and conduct of the study, that means clinical trial study, to assess the relationship between the dose, blood level and clinical response. So that means, as you know, that whenever you are going to take a medicines, it goes to our systemic circulation and give a clinical response. So here dose response study means it is telling that to determine that amount of drug is necessary to give a therapeutic response or clinical response which will be effective, so that you have to study it, because in market different dose of the medicines are available, but which one will be useful for which type of patient, because the dose it will vary depending on the patient, like disease condition, depending on the age, everything it will be vary. So here E4 is mainly deals with the guidelines for the selection of dose, how we are going to perform the clinical trials by selecting a proper dose response studies. Now E5 is telling about the ethnic factor. That means it mainly deals with the document or guidance for the facilitate the registration of medicines among the ICH region. So here it deals with that the document mainly deals with that about the patient condition like intrinsic characteristics and extrinsic characteristics. Mainly deals with the two parameters which may give effect on the clinical trial studies in the different region of ICH. So intrinsic characteristics means what is telling that it is a physiological characteristics of a patient, and extrinsic means it is associated with the environment and culture of the patient. So here what is telling that maybe this characteristics it will affect or it will give their effect on the clinical trial report and studies. So same way like E6 it deals with the good clinical practice. Like already you know that good manufacturing practice, good laboratory practice. So same the same way also when you are going for this clinical trial, you have to follow GCP, that is good clinical practice. The practice which will be acceptable by internationally and which will be designed, which is conducted, which is recorded, which is reported according to the international level of ICH, by which whole world it will be acceptable or it will be acceptable by the whole world, or in especially in the ICH region, that is called as the good clinical practice. So it mainly the GCP is mainly describe the responsibility or expectation of all the participants, those who are going to be work in the clinical trials, that mainly deals with the monitoring, about the reporting and about the achieving of the clinical trials. So everything it explained in well manner about is a guideline that the personnel those who are working they can refer it and they can follow it as to execute the good clinical practice. Now after E6, now coming to this E7 to E11, which deals with the clinical trials. Clinical trials means about the, it deals with the, about the terminology, about the designing, about the clinical trials and general considerations like principles, about the groupism, about the patient, everything is deals. So now coming to this first one is, that's why it is telling that E7 and E11, E7 to E11 is clinical trials. So now coming to this E7. E7 is mainly deals with that the special consideration which is mainly help to design and conduct the clinical trial for the medicines. That is mainly applicable for the medicines which is a new entity or new molecules which is going to be used or which is going to be treated for the special disease like Alzheimer's disease or anything elsewhere. So here what it is telling, this E8, that is called as the general consideration of clinical trials, it mainly deals with the principle of this study. So here what is telling, E7 is mainly deals with the designing of the clinical trials, E8 is mainly deals with the principle about the clinical trial like performance control about the clinical trials as well as the execution of clinical trials, how we are going to execute it and how we are going to perform it, everything that deals with the E8. Now, see the same way when you are going to this E8, as I told that about the it deals with the principle about the your execution. So here what is telling, whatever you are going to give the guidelines, it should be acceptable in international level. So this ICH general consideration, it is explained or it is described in internationally acceptable principle, which is developed in such a way that all the regions of ICH as well as all the regions those who are following this ICH also it will be acceptable. That means we can tell that the evaluation process and the acceptance criteria are international or foreign clinical trial data are internationally it is designed and it will be acceptable. So it mainly designed to check the clinical efficacy and safety of the dosage form. So that's why this E8 is designed as a principle and as a execution. Now E9 is mainly deals with the statistical report. Like as you know that without statistics, if you are doing any kind of research is invalid. So like this here what is telling, the E9 is mainly deals with the statistics principle for the clinical trials, like about the biostatistical guideline which describe about the hypothesis, about the trials, about the your demonstration of effectiveness, how we are going to design it, how we are going to select it, by which method we are going to interpret it, and we are going to establish a theory for your clinical trial, that is called as the E9. Now E10 is mainly deals with the choice of control group. Like when we are going for a clinical trial, we need a different group of patient for our clinical trial. How we are going to divide the patient into different group? What is the criteria? That criteria may be depending on the age, the criteria may be depending on the disease condition, or maybe criteria may be depending on the physiology, or maybe depending on the physical appearance like weight, health, depending on the condition. So here what is telling, the control group, while you are going to select a control group for our clinical trials, that may be classified based on the type of treatment, or maybe it may be classified based on the type of methods of determining. But here what is telling, the control group, the type control titer may be of any of the following. Like as you know that control group means they are going to be act as the standards for us. Like we are not going to give any kind of medications, or we are going to give as a standard process or normal condition, and we are going to compare with our medicines. So here what it is telling, the control groups can be maintained like placebo, the formulation which will not contain any kind of medication, but it will be unknown to the patient, or any kind of no treatment, will not give any kind of treatment, only will keep the human volunteers and will give in a general lives or schedule life, daily routine life, and it will be maintained. Or different dose or regimen we have selected for the study treatment, or different active treatment also we can select it. Depending on this we can select the control. Like here what is telling, dose. Suppose our marketed established clinical trial is already one dose is available, we are going for trial of other, that also we can do it, there is a control. Now E11 is deals with the clinical investigation medicinals. So it mainly deals, or it mainly facilitates the development of safe and effective use of medicinal product in the pediatrics, like for the kids. So here what is saying, how we are going to do the clinical trials on the babies or on the pediatric products. So it mainly deals with the parameter like time duration, or initiation of the timing of initiation of pediatric studies, or types of study you are going to do like pharmacokinetic or pharmacodynamic studies, or efficacy or safety parameter, or age categories, how we are going to divide into the controls, or in the study patient categories in the age wise, or ethics of this pediatrics, it deals with this E11. Now E12, it mainly deals with the guidelines for the clinical evaluation by therapeutic category, which mainly deals with that, tell that the clinical trial for the medications can be done depending on the therapeutic class of the drug. There are different category, or there are different therapeutic use of the drugs are there. So here what is telling, this guidelines or clinical guidelines should be used or should be designed in such a way that depending on the therapeutic class of the drug, which is need to individual patient guidelines among the three regions. So that's why E12 is deals with the drug of the clinical evaluation for the new anti-hypertensive drug. Anti-hypertensive drugs should be taken care special. Like here what is telling about the E12 is mainly give the guideline for the general principle or clinical trial evaluations for the new anti-hypertensive drug, which is a new molecular entity, which will be acceptable in three different region of ICH. So according to that, the E12 guideline is representing about the clinical trial for anti-hypertensive drug which is newly marketed. Now E14, that is called as the clinical evaluations. Clinical evaluation means the data we are going to trial it, we are going to do it, how we are going to interpret it, how we are going to conduct the clinical trial, how we are going to analyze the data, or how we are going to design the clinical trial. This is all about the clinical evaluation. So this clinical evaluation is main approach of these two for a particular drug should be individual depending on the pharmacokinetic, pharmacodynamic, about the safety characteristics of the product, uh, about its clinical use should be proposed. So that's why this clinical evaluation is more important for the interpretation of data for the drugs during the clinical trials. Like same thing in E15 is mainly deals with the pharmacogenomics, like about the genetical effect. So in order to develop the harmonized approach, what it is telling, the drug regulation is important and ensure that consistent definition of terminology are being applied across all the constituent in the international conference harmonization. That means the definition or the terminology which are going to be used in the report or in the clinical trial, it should be acceptable or it should be understandable by the ICH. If it is understood by the ICH, then it will be clear to all the whole world. So this agreement is mainly definition will be facilitating about the discipline of the pharmacogenomics about the pharmacogenetics, how we are going to do it for the global drug development, and about the approval process. That mainly deals with the E15. E16 is mainly deals with the recommendation for regarding the context, structure, about the format for regulatory submission of the qualification of genomic biomarkers, like clinical and non-clinical genomic biomarkers, which are studied to know about the pharmacokinetic, pharmacodynamic properties, efficacy and safety aspect. All these things it deals with the E16. Now, E17 is mainly deals with the multi-regional clinical trials. So, multi-regional clinical trials means what it is telling, this approach is mainly finalized by the ICH in the year of 2017. So, here what it is telling that the clinical trials should be designed in different region of the world, because as I told that the clinical trials maybe it will be harmed by the some characteristics like intrinsic characteristics and extrinsic characteristics. Intrinsic means physiological properties of the patient, and extrinsic means about the culture, about the environmental condition of the patient. So here what is telling, this MRCT, like multi-regional clinical trials should be standard, or this should be designed in, it should be developed in a globalized wise for the regulatory submission which will be acceptable by the ICH in worldwide widely. So here what it is telling, this to implement this E17 multi-regional clinical trial, the ICH is designed a training module. The module is totally composed of 7 modules to has been developed to promote and efficiently consistent for the implementation of E17, because now it is in the step 4 for the implementation of the multi-regional clinical trial. So same like this E18 is mainly deals with this genomic sampling. Genomic sampling means it mainly deals with the management of genomic data or clinical data, like genetically, about how it is going to implement it, about the study, how we are going to collect the data, how we are going to store it, how we are going to interpret it. So overall, normally what is telling, it is a new guideline which is released by the ICH, which is established or is finalized in the year of 2017. So it is also till now in the process, not yet finalized, means it is not yet implemented completely in the 3 different region of ICH. So now same like this, E19 is mainly deals with the safety data collection. Safety data collection means is mainly guidelines, it deals with promote the harmonized guidance for the collection of data, for the storage for the data, and for the further in future use for this data for marketing or post marketing studies. So here what is telling, how we are going to collect the data for the during the clinical study or after the clinical study, that means in the phase 4. So that is deals with this safety data collection. How we are going to collect it, all these guidelines are mentioned in this E19. And the last one is E20 for this E series or efficacy series, that is adaptive clinical trials. So this is mainly deals with the provides a transparent and harmonized set of principles for the regulatory review. You are going to review the study, like we are going to perform the clinical trials for the global development of the program. We are going to review this process, we are going to evaluate this process, that is called as this adaptive clinical trials. This mainly provides the flexibility to evaluate or to discuss about the innovative approaches for the clinical trial design, how we are going to designing it, how we are going to execute it, how we are going to evaluate it, how we are going to review it. So that is called as the adaptive clinical trials. So this all about this E1 to E20 except E13 is deals with the efficacy guidelines under the ICH, which gives the clear picture about the clinical trials, how we are going to perform it, how we are going to plan it, how we are going to design it, how we are going to execute it, how we are going to implement it, and how we are going to interpret it for the pre-marketed drug as well as the post-marketed drug. So in this video, whatever the data I have kept it, this is just a simple information or just a introductory information for your E series or this efficacy series under the ICH. If you want to get the detail, please go through the references or ICH website for the efficacy part, where you will get the all in detail about the guidelines, or you can refer it in future for your further reference. So this is my reference from where I have collected this data. As I told you that if you want to go through this ICH homepage, this second reference one, you can refer it for in detail about this efficacy part. Hope this video will help you to gain some knowledge about this efficacy series of ICH. Still, if you have some doubt, you can directly contact me through the mail, that is dharmajit.patnaik@gmail.com, or else you can write in the comment section of Edu Knowledge of my channel or in my video about the doubts. I can definitely get back to you. Don't forget to subscribe, like and share my channel, that is Edu Knowledge Hub, uh, which will encourage me to create new videos for you, by which it will I can help you to educate, or I can help you to gain some knowledge about the pharma related topics. So for that, don't forget to subscribe or like and share my channel, that is Edu Knowledge Hub. Thank you. Stay healthy.